presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawks. We are Rocky.
Time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Atlanta Braves. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Monday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers home after a so-so road trip. They won 3, lost 3, winning 2 out of 3 in Houston, losing 2 out of 3 in Milwaukee. Now they figure to have their hands full. It will be Atlanta followed by Washington, two teams that are playing very, very well. For Atlanta, the Dodgers beat them 5 out of 7 last year. Tonight, Jair Jurgens will be on the mound for Atlanta, and the Dodgers will follow with left-hander Chris Capuano. Game 1 of 3 with the Braves. We'll get to the ball game. We'll have it all coming up for you right after this. Their cars in the booth. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By CarMax, start the search for your next car at CarMax. Start here. And by Dodge.
Minutes away from first pitch here at Dodger Stadium. The Braves are in town for 3. I'm Patrick O'Neill alongside my partner here, Steve Lyons. Dodgers have a very good record, but nationally, maybe they don't have the respect based on who they have played other than the Brewers, but this next 6 games certainly will change that.
Absolutely. They haven't seen the beasts of the East, and now they will. You're talking about tonight, Atlanta, I believe the best team in the National League East, and you're going to see some of their best pitchers. You get Jurgens tonight. He scuffled a little bit, but you're going to see Mike Minor, and then Brandon Beachy. Beachy has an ERA of .47. That's unbelievable. And then what I believe is the second best team in the East. The Washington Nationals will come in. We're going to see Steven Strasburg, probably see Gio Gonzalez in that series as well. Finally, everybody in the East is going to get to see this team play. Remember, the Dodgers have scored early in games and then really kind of slid through. They're still not scoring enough runs offensively. This will be a true test.
Well, the Braves have scored plenty of runs offensively. In fact, 81 in their last 12 games, and they have won 10 of those. So a good test tonight for the Los Angeles Dodgers against the Atlanta Braves. When we come back, Vince Scully with the call.
Chipotle Chicken Club combo for just $4.99 plus tax. By 76 Gas, we're on the driver's side. By Club Serrano. Get in on the action. Go to sanmanuel.com for details. And by Toyota. Check out the full line of fuel-efficient vehicles at your Southern California Toyota dealer. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. We're at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers are home after a brief road trip, and they open up what should be a very exciting week. 3 against Freddie Gonzalez and the Atlanta Braves, followed by the Washington Nationals, and that will bring in a fine young ball club that right now is leading in the East with Atlanta right on their heels. So for the Dodgers, a lot of work, a lot of excitement. Hope you'll be out here with us as this is game 1 of a 6-game homestand, game 1 of a 3-game series with the Braves. The Dodgers beat the Braves 5 out of 7 last year. However, they've only won 4 series in the last 20 years against Atlanta. And let's take a look at the visiting Braves. Michael Bourne, red hot, leading off in center field. Martin Prado at third base. Freddie Freeman at first. Dan Uggla at second base. Matt Diaz in left field. Jason Hayward in right field. David Ross, the former Dodger, behind the plate. Jack Wilson at short. Jair Jurgens on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Chris Capuano. For Capuano, 2 times suffering Tommy John surgery in 2002 and 2008. Among other things, he has a very good pickoff move to first base. A couple of years ago, he picked off a dozen runners. He was also an all-star back in 2006, but perhaps of all of his credentials, the most impressive, he graduated from Duke University with an economics degree he graduated Phi Beta Kappa. So here he is, the left-hander who has pitched well and has pitched very well against Atlanta. 2-0 against them last year, 4-3 lifetime. And Capuano wants to try and turn things around and give the Dodgers their 7th consecutive home victory. Defensively, the Dodgers with the leather, Rivera, Kemp, and Ethier, Uribe, Gordon, Ellis, and Loney, and the battery of Capuano and Ellis. For the Atlanta Braves, among other things, they've had 2 5-game winning streaks and 1 4-game losing streak. They score a lot. In fact, in their last 17 games, they've scored 96 runs. They're averaging just about 6 runs a game, and they come in here having won 10 of the last 12. A lot of numbers, but the idea is that they should give the Dodgers quite a test. And there'll be quite a test immediately with Michael Bourn. Bourn, not only the holder of 2 Gold Gloves, fine defensive outfielder, very, very quick. The last few years, he has stolen as many as 61 bases with the Astros. So if he gets aboard, he is really something. And he is basically a ground ball hitter in the sense 2 out of every 3 balls he hits will be on the ground. He backs off, looks at a breaking ball strike, and the count 0-1. Bourn has hit safely in 9 of the last 10, and a threat indeed if he gets aboard. Capuano comes right back, slider in the dirt, kicks off to the left, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Capuano, who pitched for Milwaukee last year and also the Mets, 60-degree weather, he's pitching bare-armed. Chris is certainly big enough, 6'2", about 220, and the left-hander back with a pitch low and away, and he's behind 2 balls and 1 strike. So Michael Bourn, out of Houston, Texas, originally a 4th-round pick by the Phillies, went to the University of Houston, and the 2-1 pitch on the way is way off the plate, ball 3. If Bourn gets aboard, not only will he test Capuano's throw, he's already stolen third base a couple of times this year. So he's not afraid to run. The 3-1 pitch to Bourn. He looks, it's in there for a strike, and the count 3-2. Bourn trying to get aboard. Waiting on deck, Martin Prado. Capuano from the third base side of the rubber, and the 3-2 fastball high and away, ball 4. So trouble right away. And we'll see the little battle inside the war with Bourn, the base stealer, and Capuano with that good throw to first. Bourn, by the way, as he stands over there, has stolen 7 out of 10. Braves, a very, very good offensive ball club, and Prado hitting a solid 271 as he checks in at the plate. So Prado, right-hand batter, rarely swings and misses. Throw to first, Bourn back on the bag. That's very important, hitting behind a rabbit like Braun. When Capuano is pitching to Martin Prado, Prado is the 6th lowest rate of swing and miss strikes. So you can put plays on with him because of that. Prado takes a strike, and the count 0-1. For the Braves, we mentioned, among other things, they have home run power. They don't strike out much. They're 2nd highest in stolen bases, and their success rate is about 82%. So when they go, they usually make it. Strike 1 pitch on the way, a backed off pitch inside under the elbows, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Braves are a very aggressive base running team. The bench has done well for them. And one thing they have not done, they haven't hit into double plays. So they're a good ball club and very aggressive. The 1-1 pitch on the way is swung on, lifted off first down the line, slicing foul. Ethier comes over, but it's back into the seats out of play. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Martin Prado. So Prado comes back to try it again. Waiting on deck, Freddie Freeman. Prado out of Maracay in Venezuela. Braves drafted him as a free agent about 11 years ago, and he first came up in 2006. Throw to first, Bourne back on the bag. In talking about his younger days, Martin Prado says that his mother never missed a game in which he played. In 15 years, she never missed a game. Another throw to first, and again, Bourne trying to see the best move that Capuano has. I'm sure he knows it. He faced him quite often with Houston, when at the same time Capuano was pitching for Milwaukee. We're in the first inning, just starting. A walk to Bourne. Prado is up there 1-2. Capuano ready into the plate, low and inside at the right kneecap, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Martin Prado. After Prado, you have Freddie Freeman. The Braves have done very well jumping out in front. They've scored first in 8 of their last 11 games. Capuano works in a hurry, and it is swung on and missed. Good change. He took a lot off that, and Prado way out in front of it. That's probably the best pitch that Capuano has, is a changeup, and actually he has worked on 2 of them. So now Freddie Freeman having come up behind Prado, and Freeman will be the next man to test Chris Capuano. Freddie playing very well, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs, runner-up rookie of the year last year, and things have apparently really fallen into place for him. First pitch to him is swung on, hit into right field, base hit. Bourne to second, slows down, holds on, and draws the throw from Ethier. So Freddie Freeman doesn't hang around. He just walks up and singles sharply to right field. And the Braves have runners at first and second with 1 out. And Dan Uggla coming up. Well, faith can move mountains. And for Uggla to be hitting cleanup is indeed a test of faith. Not that he's hitting .242. He has only 3 hits in 16 at-bats against Capuano. And would you believe, in his 16 at-bats against Capuano, he has struck out 11 times. Uggla, very much of a power hitter, very much of a swing and miss hitter. So 2 on and 1 out. Right-hand hitter up there, holds up on a pitch low and inside, ball 1. For Uggla, it really has to be low and inside because he is very famous for being a first ball hitter. Last year, Uggla hit only .201 against left-hand pitching. He comes in here hitting .286, so that's a huge change. A.J. Ellis out to talk to the veteran. Capuano nods and sends him back to his position behind the plate. 2 on for the Braves. 1 out, first inning, no score. Capuano straightens up, set at the chest, checks the runners at first and second, and the pitch to Uggla is swung on and fouled back, and the count 1-1. So Dan Uggla against Capuano, who will give you, among other things, fastball, slider, and really 2 changeups. One is a straight change. The other one is where he splits his index and middle fingers, and at the last second, it's not quite a screwball, but he twists his wrist a little bit. Capuano out of his stretch. Bourne and Freeman out there on the lines. And the next pitch is lifted to left center, very playable. Calling for it, waiting for it is Matt Kemp, and the runners have nowhere to go. So Uggla, fly ball to center, and we have 2 down, and Matt Diaz coming up. First time you see the name, you figure it's Diaz, but he pronounces it Diaz. So Matt hitting .278. He has a home run, 4 runs batted in. Born in Oregon, but lives in Florida. Went to Florida State. 17th round pick by the Devil Rays. Of course, talking about Florida State and Atlanta, you immediately think of the tomahawk chop. Boy, that was an awesome sound, if you remember. The first pitch of the right-hand hitter, little slider in for a strike, and the count 0-1. I remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s, we'd go to County Stadium and 50,000 people would make those sounds and do the chop, which originated at Florida State. A remarkable sound it was. 0-1 the count. Diaz waits. Right-hand hitter backs away at a pitch at the ankles, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. So Chris Capuano trying to hold on to a perfect 6-0 record for the Dodgers at home. Michael Bourne is at second. Freddie Freeman is at first. 2 out. No score, first inning. Capuano out of a stretch. Another check. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. Capuano delivers. Fastball foul back. Diaz a little late on that pitch. So that fastball was moving pretty well. And a 1-2 count. Matt Diaz instead of Diaz. The reason, his grandfather came over from Barcelona, and they pronounce it Diaz. So Matt waiting. Capuano trying to get out of a first inning jam. Comes back inside at the thighs with a fastball to drive the hitter away. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dodgers, as we mentioned earlier, have had a lot of trouble over the years against Atlanta. They won 5 of 7 last year, hadn't won a season series since 2002, and had won only 4 against the Braves in 20 years. Deuces Wild, the pitch at the plate in the dirt, squirts behind Ellis. Runners don't see that immediately, so they hold. And we go 3-2 to Matt Diaz. Diaz has struck out only twice in 18 at-bats. As Diaz waits, Jason Hayward, who had a 10-game hitting streak snap yesterday, waits on deck. So the runner's ready to go. 2 on, 2 out. First inning, no score. Capuano out of a stretch. Runners take their leads. The runners go, and the 3-2 fastball is inside. Ball 4, and that loads them up for Jason Hayward. Hayward had a great first year, and then after that developed a bad shoulder, and that really hurt him last year. He missed 34 games last year. He had 18 home runs his rookie year and only 14 last year. And Dodger pitchers have really done a number on him, so we'll see what happens now. As Capuano ready, the big left-hand hitter looks, and the pitch is low and away, ball 1. Jason Hayward, in his first major league at bat, caught everybody's attention back in 2010. All he did was hit a 3-run home run opening day in Atlanta. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Capuano back with a fastball in for a high strike. Freeman at second base. Bourne at third. Diaz at first. 1-1 the count. Hayward, by the way, is 6'4", but he helps you out a little. He bends at the knees and the waist. 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Slider up. 1-2 the count. At Dodger Stadium, so far in his young career, Jason Hayward, with all of his abilities, is 2 for 31. That's a little more than a half a buck. Overall, against the Dodgers, he's hitting less than that. 3 for 49. So 1-2 with the bases loaded. Capuano delivers down and away with a fastball, and the count 2-2. Chris hitting 89 on the gun, and Big Hayward waiting at the plate. With that sore shoulder last year, Jason Hayward missed 34 games. First round pick 5 years ago. He's a Georgia boy. 2-2 the count to Jason Hayward. Capuano delivers down and away. So Chris has gone as far as he can go. He has walked 2, given up a single, 2 out. And in case it crossed your mind, Jason Hayward has 1 career grand slam. He hit it last year in August against the Cubs. Crowd comes alive. Capuano faced for a big challenge now. And the 3-2 pitch to Jason Hayward with the bases loaded, swung on and missed. And the Dodgers continue to tie up Hayward. No run, 1 hit, 3 left. And at the end of half an inning, Braves nothing, Dodgers coming up. Seven pitches in the first inning and stranded 3. So we'll now take a look at the Dodger lineup, trying to get him some runs. D. Gordon leading off at short, Mark Ellis at second base, and Matt Kemp in center field. Andre Ethier hits cleanup in right, Juan Rivera in left, and James Loney starting to come alive with the bat at first base. Juan Uribe struggling at third base, A.J. Ellis behind the plate, Chris Capuano on the mound. On the mound for Atlanta, Jair Jurgens, that first name Jair and pronounced Jair Jurgens. He's from the beautiful little city of Curaçao in the Netherlands Antilles. So we could very well see 2 fellas from that area, the other being the Dodgers' Kenley Jansen. For Jurgens, his pattern has been to have bad months in the even-numbered months, followed by good months, so that in April, he's 7-8 in his career, but in May, he's 10-2. So let's see what he does tonight. And the first man up is D. Gordon. Jurgens 0-1 against the league. Beat the Dodgers once here last year. He's 3-1 lifetime. Right-hander over the top, a bunt up along the chalk, foul at third base. And D will come back and try it again. So Gordon, a threat, of course, to bunt, especially struggling right now, hitting only .217 with 2 runs batted in. One of the problems for Gordon, he has struck out 25% of the time. And of course, without power and with his speed, the Dodgers want him to make contact, even if it's just a ground ball out. They bring up the corners, do the Braves. And the strike one pitch, a ground ball up the middle into center field for a base hit. So D. Gordon will single up the middle, and that will put some pressure now on Jurgens. And the batter will be Mark Ellis. So Mark Ellis, the veteran second baseman, who's done a wonderful job, not making headlines, hitting a nice solid .264. He's hit in 11 out of 13, but he has really done a wonderful professional job of moving runners along. He also has to be extremely patient for Gordon, who has stolen 8 out of 11. A couple of things about J.J., easier to say than Jair Jurgens. Really doesn't make any difference to him whether he pitches at home or on the road. His earned run average is just about the same, believe it or not. The pitch to Ellis, off the plate, ball 1. ERA at home, 3.4. ERA on the road, 3.4. If you give him 3 runs, he is 44-7 in his career. if he gets 3. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Mark Ellis. Another throw. If nothing else, trying to take a little pepper out of the legs of D. Gordon over there at first base. Dodgers trying to win their 7th in a row at home. The 2009 team started off the year 13-0. There goes Gordon. McCann short hop throw, not in time. So D. Gordon doesn't hang around. He has now stolen 9 out of 12. And now we'll see Mark Ellis, Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier try to pick him up. It was a straight steal. He wasn't looking back. And McCann's hurry throw had to be short hopped by Ugla. So 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Mark Ellis. Jurgens looks back at a dancing Gordon. Now the right-hander over the top, low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jurgens working on Mark Ellis. Ellis checking with Tim Wallach. Jack Wilson over to say something to the pitcher. Jurgens, 26 years old. He's 6'1", only about 165 pounds, and was originally signed by Detroit. Now he wants to talk to Brian McCann. In case you wonder about Curacao, it's a small island nation. They tell me about 140,000 people in the Caribbean, and it's about 35 miles away from Venezuela. His father, a big Braves fan, going back to when they were with Milwaukee and idolized Henry Aaron. Used to listen to the radio of all the Braves games, and he grew up and was absolutely thrilled when he finally signed with Atlanta. The 2-1 pitch to Mark Ellis. A dancing Gordon. The pitch to Ellis swung on and missed, and the count 2-2. So Mark trying to advance Gordon and leave it up to the big guys, Kemp and Ethier. When Jair Jurgens was just a little kid, he was about 6-7 years old. He was a bat boy on the youth league team that has as its star Andrew Jones. The pitch off the plate, ball 3, 3-2. So there's a major league connection if ever there was one. He is the first player from Curacao to pitch in the big leagues. And of course now he has company with Kenley Jansen. 3-2 the count to Mark Ellis. Nobody out. Gordon at second. No score. First inning. Jurgens ready. Jair over the top, and it's fouled back. Ellis going after a pitch that I believe would have been ball 4. But with 2 strikes, anything around the plate, he wanted to go after to protect himself. Though still 3-2. Tim Wallach keeping one eye on Gordon and then the other on Ellis, who heaves a big sigh and gets back in. Jurgens out of a stretch. Wilson bird dogging Gordon. Pitch is lifted to right field. Tagging is Gordon. Under it out there is Jason Hayward, and Gordon is going to advance to third on the fly ball to right. That really sums up the value of Mark Ellis. We've talked about that since spring training. What a wonderful job he does in that number 2 spot. First, he's patient. He's not afraid to get 2 strikes. He allows Gordon to steal, and then one way or another, he's going to get Gordon over to third. So a remarkable at bat. In the box score, it'll say 0 for 1. It was anything but. Well, here is Matt hitting a very cool .450. 9 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Just like Jason Hayward, he had a 10-game hitting streak snap yesterday. So Gordon at third, 1 out first inning, no score. Braves had a bases loaded and left it, and Kemp takes low, ball 1. A remarkable combination. It's a left hook and a right cross, with Matt Kemp followed by Andre Ethier. Ethier with 21 runs batted in. Matt has 22. The pitch to Kemp, low and inside, ball 2. So JJ might very well want to pitch around Kemp, take his chances. But the way Ethier has been playing, it's a tough road to go no matter which way you select. So Matt back up, 2 balls and no strikes. No score, bottom of the first. Jurgens delivers on the hands, a half swing. Kemp was tied up on the pitch. Wasn't quite sure whether fish or cut bait and takes the strike instead. And the count 2-1. Matt, I think, was also a little surprised that Jurgens would come inside on him. I think Matt was guessing location. And the count 2-1. Time at the plate by Jim Wolf. Matt backs out, fidgeting. Outfield deep. Michael Bourne shading just a tad, slightly towards right center. Here's a 2-1 pitch on the way. Kemp backs away, and it's way inside. Ball 3. 3-1. Matt Kemp so far has walked 7 times and struck out 15. Jurgens hands it aside, looks in to get a sign. Gordon down the line from third. 3-1 pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. Kemp started to go to first. So Matt comes back 3-2. Jim Wolf is the plate umpire. You know his brother Randy. Jim Wolf, among other things, back in 2010 was behind the plate when Dallas Braden pitched the perfect game for Oakland against Tampa Bay. 3-2 pitch is taken, ball 4. So Kemp draws a walk, and we have runners at first and third, 1 out, and Andre Ethier coming up. As far as Andre Ethier is concerned, in checking in against Jurgens, it's just another right-hander. Ethier is hitting .455 against Jurgens. 5 hits, 7 walks. So he didn't want Kemp, and now he gets perhaps even more trouble, and he has to worry about Kemp perhaps trying to get a jump and steal. First pitch to Ethier is swung on, a little flare. It's going to drop into right center for a base hit. Gordon scores. Kemp flies around to third, and the Dodgers lead 1-0. A modest thing and thine own, but Andre Ethier will take it. Little bloop single into right center for Andre, his 22nd run batted in to time at that level with Matt Kemp. He could not extend his arms at all, but even tied up, he was able to flare it into right center. So it's the Dodgers who take the 1-0 lead after the Braves left the bases loaded. And now Juan Rivera coming up. First and third, 1 out. Rivera hitting .255 with 7 runs batted in. Not much left for Rivera to clean up, not with Kemp and Ethier doing what they've been doing. So Rivera, the right-hand batter, waits, has a look at the first pitch, and that's low. 1 ball and no strikes. In checking Dodger hitters against Atlanta pitching, this is the first time they faced each other. Rivera going up against Jurgens with Kemp at third, Ethier at first, 1 out, and the Dodgers leading 1-0. Jurgens speaks in order best to worst. Papiamento, that's a Creole language of Curacao, then English, then Spanish and Dutch. He's also improving in his Spanish. Hard ground ball to short. Wilson to second to Uglia. Hill in the dirt at first. Nice pick by Freeman, and that'll be that. So Rivera hits into the double play, but the Dodgers get a run thanks to the base hit by Andre Ethier, and they lead 1-0. He steals second. Mark Ellis does a wonderful job of getting him over to third, and the base hit by Ethia picked him up after Matt Kemp had walked. So the Dodgers lead 1-0, and we go to the second inning. David Ross, who at one time was with the Dodgers back in 02, 3, and 4, big fella out of Georgia, went to the University of Florida, and David will lead it off, followed by Jack Wilson and then Jair Jurgens. Capuano into the windup, slow breaking ball, misses inside, ball one. What kind of a guy is David Ross? Well, you girls would love this. He took his girlfriend to Disney Cove, that's an Orlando theme park. The 1-0 pitch is swung on, fly ball to deep center, back goes Kemp to the track at the wall, gone. Not only will you girls love it, so do the Braves. And David Ross hits it over the center field wall, and it ties up the game 1-1. Just to conclude the thought, he took his girl to the park that allows guests to swim with dolphins and other sea animals, and a dolphin came over to them, had a buoy around its neck with the marriage proposal, "Will you marry me?" So David is a very, very thoughtful and quite a guy, as he not only had a novel way to get married, but he takes the Dodgers deep. Next man, that's Jack Wilson, who pops it up to Gordon, and that's one away. Jack Wilson from Westlake and Thousand Oaks. So David Ross, who is big enough to hit him out. I mean, he is 6'2", about 235. Last year, he had a half a dozen home runs. One year, about 5 years ago with the Reds, he had 17. So David Ross ties it up 1-1. For Chris Capuano, that would be the third home run that he's allowed this year. And here's JJ, even in the game, and he takes low and inside, ball one. 1-0 the count. 1 run, 2 hits for the Braves. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Capuano comes back, fastball strike, and the count 1-1. Jurgens, right-hand batter. He is 1 for 5 as he waves, doesn't get it. 1-2 the count to the boy, the kid from Curacao, Jair Jurgens. Capuano from the first base side moves over to the third base side of the rubber, and the 1-2 fastball at the knees. That'll be strike 3. That would be strikeout number 3 for Chris.
Center fielder.
And in this 1-1 tie, the batter is Michael Bourne, who walked, got around to third, and they left him. So Bourne, who has done a super job in the leadoff role for Atlanta, now it's his second time around. Dodgers look bunt. They bring up the corners. Bourne takes a high strike as it dips in nicely. 0-1 the count. Now the strike one pitch, breaking ball down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bourne, for the first 7 years of his life, lived in Houston. His father, a petrochemical operator. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Michael swings late, hits it to the left, it's short. Smothered by Gordon, who throws and gets him. Boy, it is one thing to leave your feet and get some of the players. It's another to leave your feet and you're still able to get up and throw out the left-hand hitting Michael Bourne. And he did it, but at the end of an inning and a half, a 1-1 tie. 1-1. Dodgers did it on a base hit by Apia to score Gordon, and the Braves do it with one swing by catcher David Ross. So in the bottom of the second inning, the Dodgers will have James Loney, followed by Juan Uribe, and then A.J. Ellis. Loney starting to turn things around. He began the year 0 for 16, but now he's had 10 hits in his last 30 at-bats. Hit a home run in Houston, did upstairs to right field, his first home run of the year. So the Dodgers hope Loney will get on track, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. Jurgens into the windup. Jair ready in the right-hander over the top, and it's whacked into right center field. There's nobody there. That's going to go to the base of the wall. By the time Hayward picks it up, Loney is standing at second base with a long double. So Loney got a fastball at the knees and knew exactly what to do with it. Short hopping the wall in deep right center field. For Loney, by the way, that is his fifth double. So now a runner at second, nobody out, and Uribe, Ellis, and Capuano trying to pick him up. Juan Uribe, trouble with a bad wrist, hitting .211. Right-hand hitter looks at a strike, and the count 0-1. Uribe has done very well in the past against Jurgens. 3 for 7 with a home run. Jurgens in trouble in the first inning, gave up a run. Immediately in trouble here as Uribe fouls the next pitch. No balls and 2 strikes to Juan Uribe. As usual, Uribe very aggressive, swinging at the first 2 pitches. Last year, he was the 6th highest in the league in chasing that first pitch. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way. Uribe waits, Jurgens delivers, and it's fouled away off to the right upstairs. What a parade. Ever since the days of the brilliant young third baseman by the name of Adrian Beltre, the Dodgers had 30 different players trying to anchor third base. 0-2 the count to Uribe. Jurgens ready, delivers, ground ball to the hole on the right side, base hit. Going to third is Loney. They'll wave him in. The throw not in time. Down to second on the throw goes Uribe. And the Dodgers lead 2-1. Jason Hayward thought he might have a play on Loney, but his throw was 20 to 30 feet up along third. And then McCann didn't handle it cleanly, although he wouldn't have had a play on Uribe anyway. So a nice bit of hitting by Uribe. 2 strikes. He goes the other way. Base hit, run batted in. And as Loney comes home, Uribe takes second on the throw to the plate. So the Dodgers are not finding Jurgens much of a puzzle. 2 runs and 4 hits in 1 inning plus. Dodgers lead 2-1. Runner at second, nobody out, and the catcher A.J. Ellis hitting .222 at the plate. He backs off on a pitch inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. A.J. Ellis has not faced Jurgens before. Jair out of a stretch, comes back 1-1. Again inside under the hands, ball 2, and the count 2-1. For Jurgens, he's had a couple of starts this year that you wouldn't know about. You'd look at his record and say 0-1. 2-1 pitch on the way, and Ellis swings, whacks it into center. Base hit. Here comes Uribe. Here comes Bourne. Throw to the plate. He is in there. Holding at first is A.J. Ellis, and the Dodgers lead 3-1. So Loney doubles, Uribe picks him up, and A.J. Ellis now singles to drive in Uribe. And the Dodgers open it up, leading 3-1. Nobody out, and Capuano coming up. Uribe easily beating the throw from center field. Talking about Jurgens, He was leading 8-3 in the top of the 6th inning. And with 2 strikes, he allowed 3 consecutive hits. They relieved him, and the bullpen lost it. So that was one game he should have won and didn't. And there's another one. Here's the pitch to Capuano. He bunts. Good bunt. Jurgens picks it up, makes the play to first. Down to second goes Ellis. And the Dodgers have another man in scoring position. And Capuano does his job. So now D. Gordon will be trying to pick up A.J. Ellis. The other game that Jurgens lost, it would be his 3rd start of the year. He led 6-3 into the 5th inning over the Mets, and they took him out after 3 straight hits. He lost the decision. The Braves did come back and won the game. So here's D. Gordon, single, stole second, came home on the single by Andre Ethier in the 1st inning. 3-1 Dodgers, 2nd inning, and Jurgens' pitch, a little flare. Out for it was Wilson, off his glove, picked up by Bourne, and the runners will hold. Gordon at first, stopping at third is A.J. Ellis. Jack Wilson got his glove on it, trying to twist his body like a rubber man, but he couldn't make the catch. So Gordon, a flare single to center. Naturally, A.J. Ellis thought the ball might be caught, so he was only able to advance to third. Ball just did hit the mitt, the fingertips of the glove, before falling to the grass. So Gordon is 2 for 2. Down in the Atlanta bullpen, Livan Hernandez, the veteran right-hander, begins to loosen up. So Jurgens following his pattern. He usually is so-so at best in the month of April. Then a dramatic improvement, 10-2 in May. Then he struggles in June, and then he comes back 10-5 in July. So he's struggling now. So Mark Ellis up there. Jurgens throws to first. Gordon back on the bag. Mark Ellis for the umpteenth time already this year, showing you what a valuable number 2 hitter he is. He waited and waited, got 2 strikes, but it allowed Gordon to steal second. Then he hit a fly ball deep enough to right to get Gordon to third. There goes Gordon. The pitch is low. Good throw, and this time they get him. Brian McCann pulled the trigger, and David Ross, playing for McCann, copied the move completely and got it down there in a hurry. So Gordon is nailed. A big out with 1 down. Dan Ugler and Jack Wilson, with Wilson covering, and Gordon out pretty easily. The only interesting thing on that with Mark Ellis, the right-hand batter, and they had the shortstop cover because Mark goes the other way so well. Tries to do it again and hits it into the seats off first base. So it's a tribute in a sense to Mark Ellis that with a runner going, the right-hand batter, normally a second baseman would cover, but they weren't going to do that with Ellis, and Wilson, the shortstop, covered for the out. The 1-1 pitch, instead time at the plate. Jurgens just about ready to deliver. So with 2 out, A.J. Ellis at third, Mark Ellis trying to pick him up. Dodgers lead 3-1 in the 2nd inning. Jurgens out of a stretch. Matt Kemp waiting on deck. 1-1 pitch to Mark is taken off the plate. Ball 2. 2-1. We're only in the 2nd inning. The Dodgers 3 runs, 6 hits. Braves 1 run, 2 hits. And remember, the Braves left the bases loaded in the 1st inning. Fastball is hit to center. Bourne going back, still backing up, makes the catch shy of the track. So the out at second base with Gordon trying to steal prevents an extra run, but the Dodgers still lead 3-1. The Dodgers pick up 2 and take a 3-1 lead. Juan Uribe chipping in with a base hit and a run batted in. So in the top of the 3rd inning, Mark Ellis back to his position, and Chris Capuano ready to go to work with Prado, Freeman, and Ugla in that order. Prado flinches, takes a strike, and they count 0-1. Prado, they talk about the productive outs that he makes. He'll get an RBI on the second out. He'll advance a runner from second with nobody out. So he's a little bit like Mark Ellis. He backs off a pitch inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Martin. Prado hitting .267. He has a home run, 9 runs batted in. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way to Martin. Swung on, hit to the left of Gordon. D is over to pick it up, makes the play. And just like that, 1 out here in the 3rd. Remember, you can stay warm at the stadium and at home with your Dodgers 50th anniversary sleeve blanket. That'll be presented by Natural Balance Pet Foods. Join the Dodgers tomorrow. Take home your very own. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Kind of a gray, dismal day here in Los Angeles. The kids might say the weather's yucky. The pitch to Freddie Freeman is probably whacked into center. He's 2 for 2. Of course, the Irish would call this a soft day. That sounds so much nicer than yucky. So it's been a soft day and a soft evening. And nothing soft about Freddie Freeman. He is 2 for 2. Single to right, single to center. And the batter now, Dan Ugla. Hit number 3 off Capuano. Ugla flied to center in the 1st inning, and as we mentioned, Capuano has dominated him. Dan swings and misses a lot, but last year, you may remember, he had a 33-game hitting streak. And in case you forgot, Ugla is a Swedish name. The first pitch in for a strike. It means owl. Dan's roots in Sweden go back to the 1300s. A long line of distinguished noblemen. 0-1 the count to Ugla. Freeman at first, 1 out, 3rd inning, 3-1 Dodgers. Capuano's fastball is low, down around the right ankle. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Dan Ugla. Ugla is perhaps the hardest swinger in the game. It was a big surprise when he had that 33-game hitting streak because he's just not that kind of a hitter. From the heels every time. Throw to first, Freeman back on the bag. You know, for Ugla, he's the 3rd player in Major League history, primarily a second baseman, to have 4 straight years of at least 25 home runs, and he's done it 6 times. Ryne Sandberg and Alfonso Soriano, the other 2. 1-1 pitch coming up. Capuano delivers low and inside. 2-1 the count. Ugla with 2 home runs, but he has 192 home runs in his career. So they have to be very careful with him. Capuano out of a stretch. A look over at Freeman with 1 out. And the left-hander ready and deals. And that's in at the knees, inside corner. 2-2 to count to Ugla. So Chris Capuano given a 1-0 lead, and then Ross homered to tie. Now he's got a 3-1 lead. However, Ugla, a home run hitter, representing the possible tying run at the plate. During his 33-game hitting streak, Ugla had 15 home runs. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Foul back. Just did get a little bit of that. He was late. Still 2-2 the count. Ugla, who had at least 30 home runs in each of the last 4 years for the Marlins, and came over and hit 36 last year for the Braves. 2-2 pitch swung on and fouled away. Looked like a change. It kind of looked like that second change we talked about earlier. It's not a screwball, but he splits his fingers and does turn his wrist just a little bit. So still 2-2 the count to Dan Uggla. Uggla hitting 36. Prior to that, Andrew Jones had hit 41 and Adam LaRoche 32. Well, that was back in 2006. So Uggla really broke things down in Atlanta last year. Capuano deep in thought, leading 3-1. Third inning, 1 out. Matt Diaz on deck. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Dan Uggla. Capuano delivers, and it's a high foul off first. Loney is there in plenty of room waiting to make the catch for the out. Uggla went after a ball borderline at best. It might even have been up around the shoulders. He never really had a good swing at it at all. And he fouls out. Yeah, it was up there. And all he did was pop it up. So Loney makes the catch. A frustrated Uggla 0 for 2. That means he is 3 for 18 in his career against Chris Capuano. And the batter is Matt Diaz, who walked in the first inning. Diaz, right-hand batter, hitting .278. Swings, fouls it at the plate. 0-1 the count. Diaz was hurt by a broken bat. It was his broken bat, and it put a splinter into his hand, and the splinter started working towards a tendon. He had to have surgery. Strike one pitch on the way, swung on and missed. 0-2. So Capuano very carefully holding on to a 3-1 lead. He's had to pitch out of a stretch. Gave up 2 walks and a single in the first inning. Gave up a home run in the second and a 1-out single here in the third. So he is in no hurry. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way. Capuano deals very high, ball 1. So Uggla went after that high pitch around the shoulders, and he decided to try his luck upstairs with Diaz. Matt waiting at the plate, right-hand hitter. Capuano a look over at Freeman. Back with a fastball, lifted to right center, deep but playable. Matt Kemp goes back, still on the grass, and makes the catch. So for the Braves, no runs, 1 hit, a man left. And at the end of 2.5 innings, Dodgers 3, Braves 1. The Braves 3-1. It'll be Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, and then Juan Rivera. You know, you talk about a pitcher, in this case it would be Jair Jurgens, being aggressive, going after the hitters, challenging the hitters. Well, he has tried to do that, and it has hurt him. On his first pitch to Andre Ethier, Ethier singled in a run. On his first pitch to James Loney, Loney doubled. On his first pitch to D. Gordon, he flared a single. And Andre Ethier, when he puts the first pitch in play, is dynamite. We'll tell you about that in a moment. But first, here is Matt Kemp. Kemp walked in the first inning. Jurgens delivers it a line drive, one-handed by Prado at third base. So Matt Kemp, a very tough out. It's a BB that's flagged by Prado, and just like that, that first pitch, but it's a line drive out. So let's talk about Andre Ethier and the first pitch. So far this year, when Ethier puts the first pitch in play, he is 8 for 10. That's a cool 800 batting average. But in his career, that first pitch in play, he's hitting 382. Jurgens ready. There's the first pitch fouled away. Now in the first inning, remember, Gordon had singled, stole second, and after Kemp walked, Ethier hit the first pitch into center field. It wasn't much. He couldn't extend his arm, but he still was strong enough to flare it into center for a base hit and a run batted in. Now the strike one pitch, and Andre hits a high fly ball to deep right. Haywood goes back to the track at the wall to make the catch for the out. So Andre just missed hitting it out. Big Hayward going to the wall, kind of groping his way to make sure where the wall was, and then made the play. So 2 out, and the batter, Juan Rivera. So you can see Kemp hits a bullet at third. Ethier sends the right fielder to the wall, and they're going right after Jurgens, who is right on the plate with his first pitch. Rivera grounded into a double play in the first inning. Dodgers 3, Braves 1, bottom of the third. Jurgens over the top, and the first pitch outside, ball 1, 1-0. Rivera hitting .250. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's on the inside corner at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jair Jurgens normally wears a necklace of seashells every game he pitches. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's popped up on the right side. Going out on the grass is Ugla, the second baseman, and makes the catch for the out. So a 1-2-3 inning. Jurgens walks off, and at the end of 3, Dodgers 3, Braves 1. his way to the Hall of Fame, stopping off here at Dodger Stadium. He's not playing tonight, but he will play tomorrow and celebrate his birthday. He will be 40 come tomorrow. Give you a couple of numbers about what he does on his birthday. Right now the batter is Jason Hayward, and he takes a strike. On his birthday, Chipper Jones is hitting .435 with 4 home runs and 11 runs batted in. So he has his way of celebrating it. We'll see a lot of them tomorrow. Line drive, base hit to center. So Hayward, who struck out 3 and 2 and the bases loaded, leads off the 4th inning with a bullet to center. So Capuano was allowed 4 hits, only 1 run. And the guy who got the run, David Ross, checking in. Ross, home run over the center field wall, his first of the year. Hayward at first, Capuano with that good move, and it was close. As we mentioned at the start of the game, Capuano has an excellent move to first. A couple of years ago, he picked off 12, and the word was out. Hayward is 5 for 5 in stolen bases, though they'll certainly keep an eye on him. Remember, we told you too that the Braves run aggressively. They're second in the league in stolen bases. And a bunt up along third. Good bunt. They're going to have to let it roll, and it goes foul. Heads up play by Uribe. He had no other play. If he picks it up, it's a base hit. So David Ross will have to come back and try it again. Pretty good bunt. Stayed on the grass for a while. Once it gets on the dirt, chances are it will go foul. So David comes back. 0-1 the count. Three runs, 6 hits for the Dodgers, 1 run, 4 hits for the Braves. That's in there. 0-2. Ross certainly looks well fed. He's 6'2", 235. One reason his dad owned a meat company. He used to deliver meat at 4 o'clock in the morning to restaurants. The tough assignment going into those ice cold freezers early in the morning, loading the meat on the truck, riding out, and then delivering it to. Pretty tough for young David, but he's quite a young man. One and two the count. When David made his major league debut with the Dodgers back in 2002, he went 0 for 3 with the bat, but he did a great job of handling Hideo Nomo. There were also 4 relievers in that game, and he threw out Edgar Renteria trying to steal a base. Great way to break in. Look out. 2-2 the count to David Ross. When David was with the Dodgers, he became the Union player representative, succeeding Paul LaDuca. Pride of University of Florida, David Ross. And ball 3. Capuano walked 2 in the first inning. And he's allowed 4 hits, but he's leading 3-1 in the 4th. Waiting on deck, Jack Wilson. and a little high for ball 4. So a base hit and a walk. Capuano now has allowed 4 hits and 3 walks. You know, Saturday at 6:10, Dodgers and Nationals. You can celebrate Don Drysdale and Maury Wills bobblehead night, presented by Bank of America. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Well, here's a local boy, Jack Wilson. With the tying runs aboard, nobody out. Dodgers lead 3-1 in the 4th inning. And a strike on the inside corner. Jack Wilson, born in Westlake Village, lives in Thousand Oaks. Went to school at Oxnard Junior College after Thousand Oaks High School. He loved playing soccer and basketball and golf and baseball. He was bowling when he was 3. But Jack said of all the sports, if he could have made enough money, he would have been a professional soccer player, not baseball. Wilson will be 35 at the end of December. 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wilson's finest year certainly would be back in 2004. Jack was playing with the Pirates, and he had 201 hits. 201. He once had 7 at-bats in a 9-inning major league game. So Hayward at second, Ross at first, nobody out. Wilson followed by Jurgens, the pitcher. 3-1 Dodgers in the 4th. Inside, ball 2. Capuano, I think, thought he might have been pinched on that. Body language seemed to think that might have been a strike. 2-1 to Jack Wilson. Jack hitting just 143. Wilson playing shortstop in favor of Tyler Pasternak, who's been struggling and is sitting down at least for a while. Wilson hitting 143. Pasternak, the spectator, hitting just 175. 2-1. There goes Hayward. The curveball is a strike, and Hayward has stolen third. We told you that this is a very, very aggressive base stealing club. And immediately Hayward steals third. For Jason Hayward, he is 6 for 6, and that wasn't close. So first and third, nobody out. 2-ball, 2-strike count to Jack Wilson. Holding at first, David Ross. Wilson with a chance to get an RBI here. Breeze blowing to right field. And he is way out in front of it. So Wilson badly fooled on the off-speed pitch, and down he goes. So the Braves are hurting at shortstop. There's just no offense right now with Pasternak and Wilson. Now Jurgens coming up with Michael Bourne on deck. So the thought here, and the Dodgers will talk about it, will Gonzalez go for the sacrifice from Jurgens, who certainly did not look like a hitter when he struck out in the 2nd inning. Jurgens with the bat has walked once this year, also has bunted sacred once. So if he gets the bunt down to move Ross, they would have runners at second and third and leave it up to Michael Bourne to tie up the game. Dodgers have Uribe on the edge of the grass at third. Loney, of course, holding a corner on Ross. 3-1 Dodgers, top of the 4th. Jurgens checking with Brian Snitker. coaching at third, is talking to Hayward coming down the line. You wouldn't expect squeeze, but you never can tell. 1 out. The wheels are really turning on both dugouts. Ross short lead at first. Haywood down the line from third. Here comes the bunt, and it is missed, but Haywood stays at third. A lot of times, as the runner from third, all you have to do is run in with the third baseman. And actually, he came a little bit more than Uribe, and now Dodgers tell Uribe, hey, get over near the bag. Hayward can run very, very well. Dodgers know all about that. So they moved Uribe to hold him on. 0-1. Another bunt. And this one's down. No one covering at second base. So the sacrifice works as Ross easily goes to second. Gordon went over to join Uribe at third, and Ellis was covering the throw at first. So Ross, the tying run at second, and they have done what you thought they would do, have Jurgens bunt, and now with the tying runs at second and third, here's Michael Bourne. Bourne has done very well, but he has only 4 runs batted in as the leadoff man. 2 out. 3-1 Dodgers, and the Braves have runners at second and third. Fastball missed. 1-0. Infield back, outfield straight away. Rivera up a couple of steps in left field. Breaking ball, ball 2. On deck, Martin Prado. Two and 0. Fastball fouled away. Again, Capuano living right around 88, 89 with the fastball. Bourne coming into the game was hitting .220 against Capuano, and he is 0 for 1 with a walk. And little ground ball to Mark Ellis. And Capuano is out of the jam. No runs a hit, 2 left. Braves have left 6. And at the end of 3.5 innings, 3-1 Dodgers. hard, but nowhere in the rule book does it say you have to hit the ball hard. Andre Ethier, a flare into right center field for a base hit and a run batted in. In the second inning, Juan Uribe, a ground ball into the hole for a base hit to right field. That cashed in Loney. And for good measure, Mark Ellis then singled, and that moved everybody along as A.J. Ellis got Uribe home with his base hit. So the Dodgers lead the Braves 3-1, and we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. For the Dodgers, it will be Loney, Uribe, and A.J. Ellis. Loney, a long double to right center field. He one-hopped the wall. So all of a sudden, Loney had said, I'm not worried about the numbers when he was 0 for 16. I'm seeing the ball well, and I'm swinging the bat well, and sure enough, he has been hitting better than .330 after the first 0 for 16. Ball one. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Dodgers. We've had 1/2 an inning where the side was retired in order. That's going to go foul down the line. Dodgers went out in order in the third inning after Kemp was robbed of a line drive caught by Martin Prado, and Ethier sent Hayward up against the wall in right field. And the only time we've had a 1-2-3 inning tonight. Braves, meanwhile, have had a lot of trouble leaving men on. One and one. Mike Minor tomorrow night against Aaron Harang. And then the concluding game Wednesday night, Brandon Beachy and Ted Lilly. Thursday an off day, and then the Nationals, the surprising Nationals coming in. And Loney doesn't surprise. He bangs it the other way for a single to left field. So James is swinging the bat. He's 12 for his last 32 at-bats. And Juan Uribe coming up. Okay, we have a moment. Let's get you thinking a little bit. We talked and showed you Chipper Jones a moment ago. He has 456 home runs in his career, all with Atlanta. Which 5 players have 500 and more home runs, all for one team? 5 players. Here's Uribe, grounded a single to right field. Fouled, out of play. The Braves, of course, have a terrific history. They were the Boston Bees. Then they became the Boston Braves. Then they moved to Milwaukee. That was an earth-shaking move at the time. They became the Milwaukee Braves. And then they moved to Atlanta and became the Atlanta Braves. To my knowledge, only one player, only one, was a regular player in all 3 cities. Boston, Milwaukee, and Atlanta. That player, Eddie Matthews, third baseman for the Braves. There goes Loney, and ping, there goes a base hit to right field for Uribe. And Loney, who is going, moves into third. So the Braves are an aggressive base running team, and the Dodgers are coming right back after in the same way. And one thing for Jurgen, no matter where he throws the ball, the Dodgers put the bat on it. That thing was way outside and low, and Uribe just banjoed it the other way. Nice bit of hitting, protecting the runner Loney. So first and third, nobody out. Dodgers have 3 runs and 8 hits against Jurgens, who, by the way, does not have a strikeout. Everything he sends up there is hit. And here's A.J. Ellis. Strike. A.J. celebrating 100. Wow. Hitting .243. Single to center in the second inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. So anytime you see a pitcher like Jurgens, where you see a lot of foul balls, you don't see any swings and misses, and you look up in the 4th inning, and he's given up 8 hits without a strikeout. You can bet Gonzalez is concerned about him. 1-2. For the second time, the veteran Livan Hernandez gets up in the Atlanta bullpen. Pitch count starting to pile up now. 48. Those are the pitches that reach the catcher. Fastball and another foul ball. The Braves, a 3-city team, a storied team as well. Of course, they're always joined at the hip with the Brooklyn Dodgers because of that 1920 game that went 26 innings and wound up a 1-1 tie. Ground ball by the diving Uggla. So the Dodgers are just wearing Jurgens out and making contact all the while. And another base hit the other way. So that scores Loney easily. Second time James has brought a run in. Dodgers lead 4-1, and you wonder if this were a fight, they'd stop it. And here comes Freddie. He will take his man out. 9 hits, 4 runs, no strikeout, and so many foul balls. Hard to remember a swing and a miss. So Livan Hernandez coming in, a discouraged Curacao man going out, and we'll be back. Wireless receiver from AT&T UVerse. Visit AT&T.com/free your TV. By El Pollo Loco, crazy you can taste. And by Mercury Insurance. Get a free quote and get 2 Dodger tickets at Dodgers.com/Mercury. Dodgers pick up a run. They lead 4-1. Jurgens out of there. At least 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 walk, no strikeouts. And Livan Hernandez pitching to Capuano, who figures to bunt and bunts foul. In his 4 innings, we were talking earlier about the fact that so many hitters swung and fouled the ball. He had just 2 swings and misses. 2. And he made over 50 pitches. So that was a rather remarkable performance by a pitcher who struggles in April and then is terrific in May. The bunt is down. Hernandez casually throws to first, and the runners move up to second and third. So Jurgens could be charged with more. With 1 out, D. Gordon coming up. Against Jurgens, the Dodgers were 5 for 8 with runners in scoring position. And of the 9 Dodger hits, They either went up the middle or the other way, 7 of 9. So the Dodgers just pinged the ball. Little ground ball here. Bloop single by Ethier. Flare by Uribe. So here is Gordon. The infield has to play up. 4-1 Dodgers, bottom of the 4th. Outfield shallow. Fly ball, and going back to get it is Diaz. Tagging is Uribe. The throw to the plate is not in time. The Uribe scores standing up, and the Dodgers lead 5-1. And that run is charged to Jurgens. And for Gordon, he's bidding for a perfect night. So D. Gordon has 2 singles, a stolen base. He has scored 1, and now he knocks in 1. And the batter will be Mark Ellis. Dodgers trying to make it 7-0 at home this year. Mark Ellis flied to right to move Gordon along, flied to center after Gordon was thrown out trying to steal. Livan Hernandez, been around a long time, came up to the Marlins back in 1996. He's 37 years old, from Villa Clara in Cuba. Strike. Of course, his manager, Freddie Gonzalez, was born in Havana, Cuba. But for Livan, he grew up in what was called the Isle of Pines, and that was in the headlines involving Fidel Castro. Foul ball. It was where Fidel Castro was sent to prison back in 1953 after his first attempt to take over Cuba. And when he was about 9 years old, they identified him as a baseball prospect, so he was sent to a sports initiation program that the government had. And by 13, he went to a boarding school for budding sports stars. Didn't have much contact with the family. He belonged to the government. In 1997, Livan became the first rookie pitcher to win his first 9 decisions in one season since Whitey Ford in 1950. He was pitching for the Marlins in those days. Lives in Miami. 2-2. Off speed, little nubber. Livan is on it for the 3rd out, and that's that. So he comes in to get 3. However, he must give up a run on that scoring fly ball by Gordon, and the Dodgers now lead 5-1.
The manager of the Dodgers. And man, the first day that I was announced as the new manager, got a call from his office. Mr. Sinatra wants to know when you want him to sing the national anthem. I said opening day, and he did.
We're going to the 5th inning after looking back for the moment. Dodgers leading the Braves 5-1. Hanging up there, Tommy's number. Tommy always admired Leo DeRocher, and DeRocher always wore number 2. both with the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Giants. Tommy, in a sense, was a lot like Leo. Vibrant, you knew exactly what he was thinking and how he was feeling. What do they say? He wore his heart on his sleeve. Martin Prado, followed by Freddie Freeman and Dan Uggla. Capuano's allowed 1 run, 4 hits, but he's also walked 3, so he's been in some hot water. Right. Martin struck out, grounded to short. Freeman, who came into this game red hot, is on deck, and he's 2 for 2. 1-1. Two and 1. 5 runs, 9 hits for the Dodgers. 1 run, 4 hits for the Braves, who've been averaging just about 6 runs a game. 2 and 1. And ball 3. Capuano walked 2 in the first inning and walked another in the fourth. Chris 2-0 against the Braves last year. And he walked him. So that's the 4th walk given up by Capuano. Remember the trivia question? We were talking about home runs. How many home runs Chipper has, and which 5 players have 500 or more, all for one team? Well, Mike Schmidt, Mickey Mantle, Ted Williams, Ernie Banks, and Melvin Thomas Ott. Chipper, 456 home runs, all for the Braves. We'll see him tomorrow on his birthday. Now here's Freddie Freeman out of Orange, California. Grew up in Fountain Valley. A strike. Few things about Freddie. He's big, 6'5" and 220. He has the highest percentage of swinging at the first pitch. That thing was on the outside corner. Much higher than any other player. He just walks up and flails, and he's 2 for 2 tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike. He is such an aggressive hitter. He is number 1, the lowest rate of called strikes. One and 2. Fred's father, a partner in an accounting firm over in Villa Park. He'd take his lunch break about 5 minutes of 2, because that's when Freddie would get out of school, and instead of a lunch hour, he'd take Freddie out to hit in the park. Fouled away. Well, it paid off. Freddie was a 2nd-round pick by the Braves 5 years ago. He had committed to Cal State Fullerton, but he chose to sign with the Braves, had a nice bonus, and he became the first Braves farmhand to win the Rookie of the Year honors in the International League since Chipper Jones. So that put a mark on him right away. And this time he comes up empty. So Freddie 2 for 3 as he strikes out. That would be the strikeout number 5 for Capuano. And the batter, Dan Uggla. So Freddie, who's really been on a tear, finally comes up empty for the moment. Uggla 0 for 2, 3 for 18 in his career against Capuano. The only thing for Dan, he had struck out 11 of 16 at bats against Capuano. And a strike, 0-1. Last time up, he went after a fastball above the shoulders, I think, and fouled out. In the first inning, he flied to center. 0-1. And a broken bat, fly ball to left field. It will drop for a base hit. That's pretty far to hit a broken bat. Fly ball into left field for a base hit. So the Owl splinters the bat, gets himself a hit, and Matt Diaz coming up. Figure you have to be pretty strong to break your bat in half like that and hit it that far. So again, the Braves trying to get back in the game. They've had 5 hits, 4 walks. That's 9 base runners, and they've only scored 1. They have not been retired in order. In fact, there's only been 1 half inning when the Dodgers, Kemp, Ethier, and Rivera made out in the 3rd inning. So here's Diaz, walked, fly to center, and ball 1. Diaz has what they say rather unorthodox inside-out swing, but it has worked for him. There goes the bat one way, the ball the other. 1-1 to count. Another broken bat. When Diaz has that somewhat unorthodox swing, Chipper Jones said it might be unorthodox, but he gets the bat head where he needs to get it. Might be ugly, but Chipper said it's effective. He stays inside the ball, which means he can see it longer. What happened was when Matt was playing at Florida State, they had a short wall in right center, and he was always trying to poke the ball that way. Finally, his last year, he stayed back on the ball. He wound up hitting 43 home runs in college, and he was an All-American. Fly ball, that's all. Rivera is there. So 2 on and 2 out, and Jason Hayward coming up. Hayward sums up so far what's been going on with the Atlanta Braves. He came up with the bases loaded and 2 out in the 1st inning. Count went to 3-2, and he struck out. Then he led off in the 4th inning with a single. So a classic case of hitting out of sync. Off the plate. If you look at Hayward tonight, 1 for 2. He is 3 for 33 at Dodger Stadium and 4 for 51 overall against Dodger pitching. That's a strike. 1-1. One thing they worried, and they worked on Hayward, because all of a sudden he was hitting a lot of ground balls. Well, they don't want a lot of ground balls from him. They wanted airborne. He's 6'4", 235. Shot right at Loney. So Hayward hits it hard. A line drive out to James. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 more left. 8 left, and it's 5-1 Dodgers. 5-1. The Braves are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, and they've left 8 in 5 innings. Meanwhile, the Dodgers have piled up 9 hits, 5 runs, and there have been a lot of different hits, a flare here, a blooper there, long outs occasionally, but most of them singles, not hard hit. The ball seems to fall in for the Dodgers. Jurgens allowed 9 hits and no strikeouts. In fact, I think we mentioned there were only 2 swings and misses against Jurgens. So here's Matt. Walked and scorched one that was one-handed by Martin Prado last time up. It's been that kind of a night. The only time either team went out in order, the Dodgers went 1-2-3 in the 3rd inning. But what an inning. That's when Kemp hit the blur at Prado. Ethier then sent Hayward right up against the right field wall, and then Rivera popped up. Otherwise, there have been men on base for both sides all night. 1-1. That last pitch to Matt Kemp was clocked at 65 miles an hour. You never quite know what Levon is going to do. Big slider, 2-1. They load up the left side of the infield. Ugla is directly behind second base. And the outfield, the gap is in left center. 2-1 the count. Little dribbler up along third, charging. Prado can't make it. So Matt Kemp hit a BB in the 3rd inning, and it was one-handed by Prado to take a hit away from him. So in the ball player's mind, the scales have just balanced out as Kemp hits one slowly up along third and gets the base hit. It's hit number 1 of Hernandez. Hit number 10 for the Dodgers. Boy, they have had a collection. And here's Ethier with Kemp at first. Ethier flared one into center for a base hit, and then hit one that sent Hayward up against the right field wall for an out. We're only in the 5th inning. Fouled away. 0-1. Levon Hernandez, we were talking before about the fact that he is from Cuba, but his story certainly would make a good movie. He was with Cuba playing ball, and a woman asked him to sign her autograph book, and he opened the book, and there was a note in there that said, "Look for the fat man." You can just hear the violins coming up in the background. And to make a long story short, the fat man was able to smuggle Hernandez out of Cuba. It's a shame you don't remember Sidney Greenstreet. He would have been the perfect fat man in the movie. David Ross has spent a while talking to the boy from Curacao, now talking to the veteran from Cuba. Just to show you the disparity of playing ball in Cuba and in the United States. When Hernandez was playing in Cuba, he was paid $6 a month. There goes Kemp. There goes the ball. And that's going to be a base hit. So now we'll just keep on going to third. And the throw into first. And the Dodgers now on. Kemp comes to the plate and is out. They throw to first. And they also get Ethier. Hello, the old Dodgers have arrived. Now that's a classic. You could say over hustling, and that would be the kind way to put it. So Matt's going to third. He sees the throw going towards second, and he thinks, well, there's nobody out. They're not going to expect it, but they did expect it. And then Ethier takes that big turn, and they nail him. So there's back-to-back singles, and the Dodgers have 2 out. Here's Matt. Here he comes. Here comes a throw to Ross for the tag, and then he looks down to first. Whoops, there's Ethier. And then he thinks, okay, the throw to the plate. Oh, no, I better not. He who hesitates is out. So it's a double play on back-to-back singles. 7-6-2-3. Shades of Brooklyn and Ebbets Field. Every now and then, the old bloodline emerges. That was that. I guess it was an old gag in Brooklyn where one man was watching from outside the street to another, and the fellow said, the Dodgers have 2 men on, and the other man said, what base? Well, tonight, back-to-back singles and 2 out. Again, if you're the manager, you have to admire the fact that these 2 fellas, giving it their best shot, just decided to try and steal an extra run. Two and one the count. All 3. Ross, Wilson, and then Livan Hernandez spot. Dodgers have 5 runs on 11 hits. The Braves 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. The Braves have left 8 in their 5 innings. They're 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. That's a strike. 3-2 to Juan Rivera. Yeah, we were talking about Hernandez making $6 a month in Cuba. When he was signed by the Marlins, he got a $2.5 million bonus as part of a $4.5 million contract. Prado at the other end of that, and that'll be that. So despite a couple of base hits, the Dodgers really go out and order, and it's still 5-1 Dodgers. We're here at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers led 2-0 in the 3rd inning, and then Chan-Ho Park was pitching. Fernando Tatis, the Cardinal third baseman, hit a grand slam home run, and then, believe it or not, came back up again in the same inning with the bases loaded and hit another grand slam home run. 8 RBIs in 1 inning. It turned out to be an 11-run inning for the Cardinals, and they beat the Dodgers in Chan-Ho Park 12-5. What a moment. Let's go back to this one. "5-1 Dodgers. Here come the Braves again. They have not been retired in order. They have huffed and they have puffed, and they have stranded 8 and scored 1. David Ross homered and walked. "90 pitches now made by Capuano through 5 innings. 1-0 to David. And ball 2. Capuano has allowed 5 hits, but he's also walked 4. So he's been pitching out of his stretch all night. He has managed to strike out 5. And fly ball. Kemp. For David Ross, 1 out. And the batter will be Jack Wilson.
Shortstop number 2, Jack Wilson.
Jack Wilson popped to short in the 2nd inning on the heels of Ross' home run, and then came up with runners at 1st and 2nd and nobody out in the 4th, and Jack struck out. Braves having trouble getting any offense at all from the shortstop spot so far, and that's strike 1. We mentioned earlier about Jack Wilson as Freddie looks on, hoping one of his shortstops will start hitting. We mentioned that Jack really loved soccer. In fact, when he was at about 12 years old, he was chosen for a club team in Agoura Hills, and they played in international tournaments. He faced the Russians. Also played in Mexico, Costa Rica, Germany. Big time soccer player. Livan Hernandez will now come up and bat with 2 out
Pitcher, Livan Hernandez.
in the 6th inning. And for the first time tonight, Capuano has a good chance of retiring the side in order. Livan, a good hitter, as those numbers would indicate. When you watch Livan Hernandez, you get the feeling he doesn't care, because every move is so casual. But actually, he is a very, very smart player. He's gifted and makes it look easy. You may remember his brother. His brother's name is Orlando, but everybody called him El Duque. (1997), when Livan was with the Marlins, he not only was the most valuable player in the National League Championship Series, but he was also the MVP in the World Series. One and two. Hernandez, things come easy to him in athletics. For instance, he took up golf, played a couple of times, and in 3 months broke 90. 3 months. One and two. Little foul. Loney coming down has the play. And there it is. For the first time tonight, the Braves are retired in order, but it's the Dodgers who are winning handily 5-1. For the Braves, it's as if they've been eaten alive by an angry moth. I mean, the Dodgers have not overpowered them. Pitch out of the strike zone, base hit up the middle. Inside, a flare. Uribe, breaking ball, punch to the hole. Uribe digs one almost in the dirt and flares it to right. A.J. Ellis goes down to ground one for a hit. And Kemp, on a pitch outside the strike zone, winds up with an infield single. But it doesn't say you have to hit it hard. And the Dodgers, 5 runs and 11 hits. 1 run, 5 hits for the Braves. Dodgers trying to go 7-0 at home this year. And a reminder, the 2009 team went 13-0. Meanwhile, James Loney is 2 for 2. Double to right center, single to left. So he's used the whole ballpark. One ball, one strike. Borderline strike. James agreeing with Jim Wolf. And a fly ball to center, playable. Michael Bourne. So they get Loney for the first time.
Batting next for the Dodgers, third baseman Juan Uribe.
Juan Uribe coming up. You think of Uribe as a pull hitter, probably based on the fact a couple of years ago, his last year with the Giants, he had 24 home runs. Tonight, he has 2 hits, both to right field. One on the ground and a little blooper to right. Old story, when you make contact, you never know what's going to happen, and that's really what it's been like for the Dodgers. Jurgens unable to strike out a batter. Only 2 Dodgers swung and missed a pitch. Most of the time they at least fouled it off. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a solid single to center. So Uribe with 3 hits tonight, 3 for 3.
Number 17,
and the batter will be A.J. Ellis. And the Dodgers now have 12 hits. 3 against Hernandez. Of course, one of the classic stories back in Brooklyn in the day of Babe Herman, the story of how Babe doubled into a double play. Well, tonight you had Kemp single, Ethier single, and when the dust settled, 2 out. 0-1 the count. Matt trying to surprise, trying to score from first, and then Ethier starting to go, hesitating, starting again, going back, and paid the price. 5-1 Dodgers, 6th inning. Bourne, Prado, and Freeman due up when the Braves arrive in the 7th. Tomorrow night, Mike Minor and Aaron Harang as the Braves try to celebrate Chipper Jones' 40th birthday. Then Wednesday, Brandon Beachy and Ted Lilly. For the Braves, of course, last year was one of the really bitter losses in the history of the franchise. They certainly don't like to think about it, but remember, the Braves last year had a 10.5 game lead and it disappeared. What happened to Freddie and his club occurred right after a Florida hurricane by the name of Irene. Team was doing pretty well. They had won 14 of 19 despite a lot of fellas with injuries. Atlanta 10.5 over the Cardinals in the wild card race. And then Hurricane Irene arrived. There was no play for the Braves for 3 days And the next thing you know, nothing was the same. The next 3 weeks, they were 8-12. Their lead shrunk to 2.5 games. In the first of 3 games in Florida against the Marlins, they took a lead, only to lose that. And by the time it was all said and done, they had blown the lead. The Cardinals went by them, and of course, for St. Louis, it was a year to remember. And for the Braves, a terrible year. But it happens. The Phillies finally killed them in the 13th inning of the final game, and the 10.5 game lead disappeared. They went home, and the Cardinals continued on their merry way. That's the story before that game, where Chipper Jones called the starting team together, just called them together and said, "Look into my eyes. Do you think I'm ready?" And then he said, "Look into each other's eyes. Are you ready?" Pretty dramatic moment. And then they played a great game, but they lost. Well, the Braves, trying to recover from that, came in here 2 games back of Washington. They've won 10 of 12, but they are struggling tonight, down 5-1 when they come up in the 7th inning. There goes Uribe on a foul ball. Down in the Dodger bullpen, and boy, could he use some work anyway, is left-hander Scott Elbert. I mean, this is a tough enough game to play, but if you don't play, you can't play. Elbert has been in 5 games, a total of 3 innings. 3 innings. There goes the runner, 3-2. Foul ball down the line, and the count remains. And again, some nice contact hitting. A.J. Knight trying to pull that. It's a 9-pitch at bat. And wherever Levon throws it, he goes with it. A.J. hitting .263. Bourne, Prado, Freeman, and maybe Ugla due up in the 7th inning for Atlanta. 3-2. And with 1 out there running Uribe. There he goes again. This time they get A.J. and the throw is down there waiting. So Uribe naked unto the world. Wilson tags him out as A.J. Ellis strikes out. And at the end of 6, Dodgers 5, Braves 1. It back in the top of the 2nd, but since the top of the 2nd, the Dodgers then scored 2 in the bottom of the 2nd, 2 more in the 4th. The Braves have not been heard from offensively, and the Dodgers lead 5-1. In the 7th inning, Michael Bourne, Martin Prado, and then Freddie Freeman. Bourne walked to open up the game and stayed at third. Since then, grounded to short, grounded to second. I think we mentioned about Bourne, it is no surprise that he hits the ball on the ground. He'll hit 2 ground balls for any ball he hits in the air at least, which is okay with his speed. And a drag bunt. Loney leaves a spot. Foot races on, and Bourne wins it. Fine play by Michael. The drag bunt. Not much Loney could do about it.
Third baseman, Martin Prado.
Capuano tried to get over there. Worth looking again. There's the drag. Capuano's heading, and Bourne's going to beat him. Hit number 6 for the Braves. With Bourne at first, Prado, Freeman, and Ugla in that order. Prado has struck out, grounded to short, and walked. Ball 1. Capuano has now made 102 pitches, so they'll be watching Chris very carefully. Josh Lindblom is now up in the Dodger bullpen. Elbert has stopped, and now 2-0. Bourne held on by Loney. Tonight, Bourne has grounded out twice and bunted for a base hit. Fly ball to left field and deep. Rivera, however, not quite to the track. And Bourne will hold on. The thing about Michael Bourne, he has not had an infield pop fly yet this year. I mean, he kills a lot of worms, but he gets a lot of base hits on the ground. And now here's Freddie Freeman. Now look out here about swinging at the first pitch. He's number 1 at that. Where Bourne hits the ball on the ground, Freeman normally hits the ball in the air. Tonight, Freddie single to right, single to center, and struck out. Tried to uppercut that. Interesting, too, they break down every at-bat, every count. Freddie Freeman's batting average after the count starts 1 ball and no strikes, which it did here, he's hitting 200. Overall, batting .302. Now he's in a hole 1 and 2. So he apparently is a better hitter when the count's against him. So far this year, when Freeman is ahead in the count, he's hitting 176. Well, he's in a hole here, 1 and 2. Ground ball to short. There's 1, and there's 2. So no runs, a drag bunt single, and that's that. And at the end of 6.5, 5-1 Dodgers. And the crowd will now be asked to stand and sing God Bless America and Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and join in the singing of God Bless America. Accompanied by Nancy B. Please welcome back Christinia DeBarge.
God bless America. to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
And now, fans, it's time for the 7th inning stretch presented by Coca-Cola. Please join Nancy B. as we all say, "Take me out to the ball game."
Chris Capuano did his job, went 7, made 108 pitches, and he goes out leading 5-1. Walked 4, struck out 5, but allowed 1 run. So Capuano, in quest of his second win, will give way now as Tony Gwynn Jr. will lead it off as a pinch hitter and then probably stay in the game, followed by Gordon and Mark Ellis. Levon Hernandez facing Gwynn. Tony hitting .263. He's been in 14 games. He has a couple of RBIs. And he promptly hits one into the glove of Dan Uggla. 1 away. You know, Wednesday is SC night at Dodger Stadium. With the purchase of this special ticket package, you'll receive a ticket to the Coca-Cola All-You-Can-Eat Pavilion and a limited edition USC-themed portable speaker. Tickets for the package limited, only available by purchasing at Dodgers.com/USC. Fight on. 1 away in the 7th, and here is Gordon. Single to center twice, fly to left. Fouled away. D scored a run. Knocked in one. One ball and 1 strike. When the Braves come up in the 8th inning, they'll have Uggla, Diaz, and Hayward. One and 2. Dodgers won the season series from Atlanta last year. They won 5 of 7. But that was the first time the Dodgers had won a season series from the Braves since 2002. And they've only won 4 season series in the last 20 years against Atlanta. Little ground ball on it is Prado. End of story, 2 down.
Batting next, second baseman, number 14, Mark Ellis.
Davey Lopes having something to say to Gordon as Mark Ellis checks in. You love to watch a fella up there with a thought. And Mark Ellis certainly has a thought, especially if the leadoff man Gordon gets on. And the first thing Ellis does, he has patience. He has the confidence to hit with 2 strikes on him. So he'll get deep in the count waiting for Gordon to steal a base. Once he has stolen the base, which he did in the first inning, Ellis then is going to get him over to third one way or another. And even though he had 2 strikes, he had a fly ball deep and up to right field to get Gordon to third. And D scored on the base hit by Ethier. So in the box score, you say Mark Ellis is 0 for 3, but not necessarily so. Roller up the middle. Jack Wilson. A 1-2-3 inning. So we're heading to the 8th with the Dodgers 5 and Atlanta 1. Lined out to Dan Uggla will now stay in left field, the anticipated move, and Josh Lindblom will take over on the mound. If you're keeping score, Gwynn stays in the number 9 spot, and Lindblom would go into Juan Rivera's spot. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, Dan Uggla, Matt Diaz, and Jason Haywood in that order. So the Braves, who came in here averaging just about 6 runs a game, scored 1 run on the home run by David Ross, and that's it. Now Freddie Gonzalez going out to talk to Jim Wolf. Just checking, I'm sure, to make sure that Gwynn is batting 9th. Lindblom is in Rivera's spot. Josh Lindblom, big fella, 6'5", 240. Purdue Boilermaker. First ball swinging, Uggla takes him to deep right. Ethier at the wall. Can't make the play. So Uggla goes the other way and clears the right field wall to make it 5-2 Dodgers. The second home run. David Ross had one earlier. So Lindblom comes in and makes the first pitch, and boom. For Lindy, that's the first run that he's allowed.
Pinch hitting for the Braves, number 25, Juan Francisco.
Juan Francisco will now come up and bat for Matt Diaz. Juan Francisco, he's been red hot of late. He started at third base for Atlanta yesterday in Arizona. Over the last 5 games, he's hitting .400 with 3 home runs and 6 runs batted in. That's a strike. 1-1 the count. Francisco is from the Dominican. 6'2", 210. Originally signed by the Reds. Fouled away. Francisco, growing up in the Dominican, admired the sluggers like Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz. He's hit a lot of home runs in his minor league career, 25 here, 23 there. Good pitch. It looked like it was up, and then it just dropped right into the zone. So down goes Francisco. Look at that, up there, and then bingo.
22, Jason Hayward.
Jason Hayward coming up. Hayward struck out with the bases loaded in the first inning. Singled to lead off the fourth. Came up with 2 on in the fifth and almost cut James Loney in half with a line drive at his belt buckle. Luckily, James caught it. So Hayward hitting .310 with 2 home runs, 8 runs batted in. 1-1. Lindblom originally selected by the Astros, but he turned them down. Lindblom came up to the Dodgers briefly last year. 29 innings. Well, the home run that Dan Uggla hit, first one that he's ever allowed. The paid attendance tonight, 26,376. 26,376. Little ground ball to Loney. 2 down in the 8th inning with the Dodgers leading 5-2. And the batter now will be David Ross. Ross homered, walked, fly to center. Ross playing in only his 3rd game. Brian McCann, an all-star catcher, does the bulk of the work. And no doubt we'll see McCann tomorrow night along with Chipper Jones. Ground ball to Gordon. And that'll be that. So the Braves get 1 on the home run by Dan Uggla. The Owl reaches the wall, and it's 5-2 Dodgers. inning. Martin Prado moves from third base to left field. Juan Francisco, who came in as the pinch hitter for Matt Diaz, will stay in the game at third base. And Levon Hernandez will be pitching to Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier. Then we'll see about Josh Lindblom. Matt Kemp walked in the first inning, lined out in the third, topped the ball and beat it out for an infield single in the fifth. Levon Hernandez still in there. He came in the fourth inning. Ball one. Two and 0 the count to Matt. Hitting .452, 9 home runs, 22 runs batted in. One of his 9 home runs, just one, hit into left center field. All the others to center, right field. 2-0. Slow curveball. Well, for Matt, he's not about to let that pitch get by at all. Breaking ball that was up, and he just hammered it.
Number 16, Andre Ethier.
Up there. So Matt goes 2 for 3, and the batter now will be Andre Ethier. 4 hits allowed by Levon Hernandez, 13 hits in the game for the Dodgers. Andre Ethier flared a single to center to drive in a run. Sent Hayward up against the right field wall for his long fly ball. Singled, only to have the Dodgers run into a double play. So Ethier scared everybody in the Braves dugout, and he wants something. I can't imagine he broke his bat, but he wants another bat. Boy, he crushed that pitch. Andre hitting .297, 4 home runs, 22 runs batted in. So the left hook and the right cross. Ethier, the left hook, has 22 runs batted in. Kemp, the right cross. Right there with him. Slice to left field. Boy, have the Dodgers done a share of hitting. A little over here, a little over there. So Ethier comes up with his 3rd hit, a single to left. Adam Kennedy is now going to come up and bat for Lindblom.
Pinch hitting number 3, Adam Kennedy.
So now 5 hits against Hernandez. And here's Adam batting for Lindblom. Kennedy 1 for 14 in the toughest job in the game. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Javi Guerra, the closer, begins to loosen up. Two on, nobody out. The bunt. Hernandez picks it up, takes care of Kennedy. So the sacrifice moves runners to second and third, and that will bring up James Loney. You know, you can follow the Dodgers with MLB.com at bat12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Dodgers.com for details. James Loney, double, single, fly to center, first base open. They will walk him intentionally, take their chances with Uribe, who has had a hot hand tonight. 3 for 3. So the Dodgers looking for a couple of insurance runs before the 9th inning. when the Braves come up in the ninth, they are due to have Jack Wilson, then Levon Hernandez, and the leadoff man Michael Bourne, and Javi Guerra getting ready for just that. So Loney draws the walk. Ethier is at second. Kemp is at third. And Uribe coming up. Uribe in his career has 5 grand slams. The last one 2 years ago against the Cubs. Uribe grounded a single to right, flared a single to right, and a ground ball single sharply to center. Matt Kemp at third, Andre Ethier at second, James Loney at first. 1 out. The corners are up. Big, slow breaking ball, ball 1. That was 70 miles an hour. Levon has hit 65 on the moon dial. Boy, that pitch is barely getting up there. That was 68. Took a little off, a 70-mile-an-hour pitch, and comes back 68. 5 runs, 14 hits for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 7 hits for Atlanta. Another off-speed pitch. That was 70, and he's 3-0. Well, you think they green light Uribe swinging 3-0 on a fastball? Yep. Yeah, didn't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. There's a lot of gum chewing going on down there. So he's gone 70, 68, 70, and then 3-0. You figured the fastball, and that was 86. Will he come back with another? What do you think, boss? Got something slower? His slowest pitch tonight was 65. There you have it. Little spinner in there, a little breaking ball. That's 70. So from 3-0, he's gone to 3-2 with the bases loaded, 1 out. 8th inning. Dodgers 5, Braves 2. Fastball, ping to right field, and it will drop. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score. Stopping at third is Loney, and the Dodgers lead 7-2 as Juan Uribe goes 4 for 4 as he singles to right for the 3rd time tonight. So 4 for 4, 3 runs batted in. That pitch, by the way, 88 miles an hour, and all Uribe did was reach across and get the bat on it. So the Dodgers have broken it wide open with 2 in the 8th. That will do it for Levon Hernandez. He can go so far at 70 miles an hour, and we'll be back. 4-hit game in 5 years, and we'll show you the hits. It started in the second inning when he hit a ground ball through the hole into right field, pinged one that would have otherwise gone in the dirt for a base hit, then hit one hard up the middle for his third hit, and then went down and dirty to single into right field to drive in 2. The 4 hits, 3 runs batted in. He has scored twice, and the Dodgers lead 7-2 here in the 8th inning. Another veteran pitcher, Chad Durbin. He'll be 35 in December. He had Tommy John surgery back in 2002, and he has Loney at third and Uribe at first. A.J. Ellis, 2 singles and struck out. Dodgers have done some rather remarkable hitting tonight. I mean, you could say some of the balls had eyes, the old expression. A lot of them were not hit hard, but the point is 5 times during the game the Dodger leadoff man got aboard on a hit, and 4 times the next batter got a base hit. They will get the force, they will turn it on a bounce and get the double play, and that will end the 8th inning, and the Dodgers settle for 2. So for Uribe with 4 hits, 4 of the Dodgers 15, we head for the 9th, 7-2 Dodgers. Javi Guerra, the usual closer, was beginning to loosen up. Now that it's 7-2, the score gives Don Mattingly a chance, A, to rest Guerra, and B, give Scott Elbert some work, which he needs desperately, having worked only 3 innings this year. Elbert will be facing the bottom of the lineup, Jack Wilson, Tyler Persnicki, and then Michael Bourne. Wilson has popped up, struck out, fly to center. Don't forget tomorrow night, game 2 of the series. Mike Minor with a record of 2-1 against Aaron Harang, 1-1. The Braves trying to celebrate Chipper Jones' 40th birthday, and you can bet as Aaron Harang talks in the Dodger dugout, he'll be facing Chipper Jones and Brian McCann. And then the final game, Brandon Beachy and Ted Lilly. Long fly ball to left field, but very playable for Tony Gwynn. So Wilson goes 0 for 4 with a fly ball to left, 1 away. Tyler Pastornicki coming up. Pastornicki, which is a name, certainly it sounds like something out of Dickens.
Your attention, please. For the Braves, pinch hitting, number 1.
First time I heard the name Pastornicki, I thought of the word persnickety. You know the meaning of the word persnickety? Well, it's somebody who cares about even the tiniest, most trivial thing. Persnickety. So he is Pastornicki out of Bradenton, Florida. originally signed by the Blue Jays, hitting 175. His dad, Cliff, played 10 games at third base for the Kansas City Royals and is now a Blue Jays scout. Two and one. So Scott Elbert got the fly ball from Wilson. Pasternicki will be followed by Bourne. Pasternicki is 22 years old. He'll be 23 the middle of December, so he's really just starting out. When the Braves made a big deal with the Blue Jays, they sent Yunel Escobar, Jojo Reyes, and they got Alex Gonzalez, Tim Collins, and Pasternicki. He's very, very fast. Down he goes. So 2 out in the 9th inning. Dodgers trying to go 7-0 at home. Trying to go 13-4. Colorado was snowed out, rained out, combination thereof in Pittsburgh. So the Dodgers will enjoy a 4-game lead over the Rockies. A reminder, tomorrow night, Mike Minor, Aaron Harang, and Chipper Jones. And that'll be on KCAL 9. And no doubt Brian McCann in the lineup as well. Michael Bourne walked, a couple of ground balls, and then a drag bunt single in the 7th inning. 2 out in the 9th, 7-2 Dodgers. Three and 0. That's in there. Dodgers winning tonight will be 7-0. We mentioned the 2009 team began the year 13-0 at home, and then the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1946 9-0, 1947 8-0. All right, 3-2 with 2 out. Big night for Uribe, 4 for 4. Little fly ball. Here comes young Tony, and that's that. So the Dodgers win going away. 7 runs, 15 hits, and no errors for the Dodgers. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Braves. The winning pitcher, Chris Capuano, is 2-0, 5-3 lifetime. The loser is Jair Jurgens. He is 0-2 and 3-2 lifetime. Scott Elbert came in and made 13 pitches to nail it down in the 9th inning. And a reminder, tomorrow night, Minor and Harang on Channel 9. Stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.